we're gonna see GG pretty soon.
Absolutely. And remember, I don't think the map pool did just recently add these new maps in, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure with the new switch over of seasons.
So these players are, I can imagine they might have had a little bit of time to practice on them. But you can see from the Terran player, the Terran definitely pretty much depended on capitalizing off that Hellion aggression. The Zerg player, since he took that late third hatchery, there wasn't a lot of damage to be done with those Hellions, and that's ultimately what allowed the Mutas to get out uncontested.
Yep. One thing I'd like to see is he's kind of forgot to bring in Overseers on these last few battles, which is very tough as a Zerg.
A large supply of roaches there.
Yeah.
Three mutas going down. This is one of those parts where Zerg is kind of so overconfident in himself that he pretty much forgets that he's still going up against mechs, so it's not quite an A-move victory if the Terran player does turtle. And the Terran player is actually going to move out now. Those Mutalisks definitely need to come into play to pick off or at least force a siege. Otherwise, the Zerg player could pretty much be on the ropes himself and get reversed. That is a very small force of Zerglings. What do we have in production here? 15 roaches on the way. That's going to prove to be well, but it looks like the rally point is very messed up as the Zerg player is just kind of making drones and roaches at the same time. Overseer not in production around the map, so yeah, this is kind of falling for both players.
Lucky break for him. All the Widow Mines have detonated, so he's able to get these tanks. That was crucial.
Yeah, super crucial. Yeah, I'm really slightly sloppy play in terms of how the mech army has been moved across the map. We're already going to see a GG, and Asylum from Team 2 Pro is going to take the victory, allowing Team 2 Pro to go up 1-0 in this series. And yeah, that was really strange. We saw basically mech composition versus laying Muta into roaches, and I'm just going to kind of speak on the Terran player, and maybe you can follow up with some Zerg chat, but the Terran player seemed like the composition was banking really heavily off that early timing attack with the unscouted double factoried Hellions, and once that was unsuccessful, there's a really strong follow-up into Widow Mine, but the problem with Widow Mine is you have to burrow and unburrow with no anti-air, so that makes it extremely immobile. And so the Zerg player was able to get up enough mutas in time and also make the necessary roach transition by the time the Widow Mines came out, because the economy was pretty much ahead of the Terran player at that point, not being able to take that third command center, and then ultimately that light pressure on the third command center ultimately meant that the Zerg could just win with quantity. But the micro from both sides was a little bit lackluster, but Asylum did push through with some great decision making.
Yeah, I'd like to comment on the Terran's play also. If you're going to commit to that double factory play like he did, you need to be doing some sort of economical damage, and I think he could easily chose to jump into the main base and try and get a drone. You know, he didn't kill one drone the whole time, and that's what his build is designed to do. He cut his workers, so he needed to do damage, and simply that's not what happened.
Yeah, possibly some of the production was a little bit underestimated as well from the Zerg player, especially being that the Zerg did ninja in expansion. I don't think the Terran saw that all game, so even though it wasn't quite mining as much, there was definitely 6 additional larvae coming out of there each time, so it's sometimes hard to estimate the quantity of army size. As we were casting, we only saw like 10 roaches, which turned into like 30 or 40, so in a matter of seconds. So yeah, a little bit of lackluster scouting and micro, but ultimately at the end of the day, the Terran just wasn't able to do a lot of damage with that kind of semi-all-in push, and Asylum made some great decisions to capitalize on that. Our next match, I don't know who is going to be sent out, but since Asylum remains, it will be a ZV something on our map Whirlwind LE, and we're just going to wait here for a quick moment to see these players suit up their trunks and get ready to duke it out. Now this is a can you give me the acronym? OGML, OMGL?
OMGL.
OMGL. This is a league match. Team 2 Pro is doing quite well on the league side. I don't really know the win history for Gex, so if somebody wants to find that out really quick, Team Game 3 will be able to kind of update at least a little bit of information about them, as that might be interesting to add to some of the suspense of the games. Is the Is Caffeine going to be playing? Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a ZVZ on Whirlwind here between Asylum and Caffeine from team game or from game 3. ZVZ. Now, Pony, you're a Terran player, right?
No, I play Zerg. I'm not much of a ones player, but I think I understand the ZVZ. I'd like to say ZVZ these days is game of drones, like TLO says. It's one drone, two drone can mean so much in this matchup, and it's just about timing them and map control, denying third. It's not much to ZVZ these days, in my opinion.
Now, is ZVZ right now currently still like, lane baneling wars in the beginning into who's going to jump into Mutas the quickest?
Yeah, you're seeing some one base all-ins, banes early, just any kind of thing, or you can, like a map like this, 15 hatch for both players is pretty standard also. But usually the transition is early ling bling, like pretty much like the old days into Roach. There's not too much more beyond that.
Yeah, we could see, either one of two things are going to happen. Basically, both players are going to commit to really early hatch aggression with Ling Baneling, or even just heavy amounts of Lings. Or we're going to see this little fight where one guy's going to play a defensive 2 hatch while the other player is going to be taking second hatch while putting on Ling Baneling aggression. I am really just interested to see who goes Mutas first, though, because I think that's what we're going to see here, especially in cross spots, being that the travel distance is so long. Players can be a little bit more risky with their tech. But, yeah, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, it looks standard from both right now. Looks like Orange has one more drone, so Red must be doing an early pool timing. This is pretty early for ZVZ, so this might mean aggression. Early gas also.
It's absolutely going to mean that.
Yeah, not Mike.
Is he taking that early hatch? No, he is going to at least go 14 pool, so perhaps we could be seeing the gas a little bit later for our Orange player. Do you think that, wait a second. Oh, I don't have the tab pulled up there. That would be very helpful, but you think Caffeine's going to grab a gas, or is he going to go straight into his hatchery? It looks like the hatchery, no?
Yeah, he did a 15 hatch, so usually you do about a 16, 17, or he did 15 pool, so 16, 17 hatch, which he did here. He's going to gas any moment. But how it stands where he's at right now, if Asylum's doing a Baneling type all-in, he's got to skip getting link speed, and he's got to get a Baneling nest, in my opinion, or he's not going to be able to hold.
Right.
And it comes down to micro, too, so...
Yeah, I have heard some interesting things in the recent past where players like Leenock are doing these drone walks through the mineral line to allow certain banelings to get hits on the drones and be down in the red but not necessarily die. I don't know if these players are hip to that kind of micro, but I'm going to be really interested to see here if it's going to be are we going to see the banelings nest follow up from Asylum, or are we just going to see straight speed lane?
And this could just... Well, no, he's still mining gas, so it's definitely Baneling. And he's got to do damage here, or this could be GG. Like, he's so behind if he doesn't catch any. He needs to snipe a queen or something to get an advantage.
Right, and we do see that Asylum's speed is a little bit more than halfway done, whereas the speed is just now getting started for Caffeine. So if he doesn't get a defensive Baneling's nest, I think this is just going to be a really lackluster GG.
Yeah, I don't like this decision from Caffeine because he hasn't... I don't believe he's had a good scout on Asylum, and he's played pretty greedy. He has a lot of drones right now in a ZVZ. There, he makes his spine.
Is going down, yeah, and that is definitely not going to be enough, but maybe with those 2 queens on each side of the spine crawler, at the very least, he'll be able to salvage a good defense on his own hatchery, but that hatchery at the natural is absolutely going down as banelings are being worked in. Lane speed now hitting halfway for Caffeine, so second spine crawler going down. He's just going to accumulate a small group of lings. Probably wants to put those around each spine crawler so they don't get surrounded, but speed and banelings are now done. One baneling
I don't like...
Yep.
Sorry. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying that Asylum definitely wants to make sure that those banelings don't get picked off as, wow, 2 banelings get donated for free. The third baneling gets picked off by a queen, so a little bit harsh decision making there from Asylum, but he's going to want to get some more banelings there. He is just going to stay on speed. Nope. grabs a couple of banelings, and I don't like his decision to kind of play aggressive up there. You want to start the banelings on the low ground because the queens and spine crawlers are still powerful with those small numbers of lings. You want to wait till you get quite a bit of number, but it might not matter here with quantity. What do you think? Caffeine's got a pretty solid defense with 2 spine crawlers and 2 queens. Great micro in terms of picking off. Well, we do have, we're waiting for players here. Looks like Pony.
Yeah, one thing.
Oh, you're back.
Game paused.
I don't know what's going on in this game, guys. Sorry, we're all just kind of glued to the screen here as to see what happened. I think Pony is kind of lagging out. Are you still here? No? Pony, are you still here? Nope. Well, anyways, guys, we're going to be waiting to see what happens here as we might have a quick lag out for our players. Note here, we have Asylum versus Caffeine, ZVZ on Whirlwind. So far what's happening is... Yeah, you're roboting out. You might just have to stall out. But anyways, so far in Asylum versus Caffeine, guys, we have Asylum opening up with a quick pull in Baneling's Nest. He definitely was successful in knocking down the natural hatchery. But Caffeine with some good Baneling pickoffs looks like he's going to possibly be able to hold here. But do note that Asylum behind all this aggression is grabbing a hatchery. So even though some kind of poor decision making in terms of making the banelings on the high ground there against a fairly decent creep spread where the queens are able to pick off the banelings, still looks like he'll be able to stabilize. So it looks like the trade-off here will definitely just be Asylum getting an earlier hatch. Definitely successful though taking out the natural, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Caffeine does stabilize or whether or not Asylum still keeps doing aggression behind this hatchery. He might just dance for a little bit until that hatchery finishes of his own. And we're moving towards, guys, if you can be a little bit patient with us, be sure to check out Team 2 Pro's website at team2pro.com. I'm not sure if Game 3 has a website. If somebody has it, somebody please post it in the chat for me so I can do a little bit of advertising for them. But again...
See, once
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, my bad. Oh, I just...
Game resumed.
Once I dropped
Game
my internet...
paused.
I'm sorry, guys, for these lag outs. We're getting a little bit of spike from our co-caster with the game being lagged as well, so you might be having to wait.
Game resumed.
Okay, there we go. Game has resumed. So we are going to see the Zerg player, now that he has ling speed from Caffeine, he might try to do some reversal. It looked like just trying to scare him out, but the Overlord spread is pretty decent, so Caffeine's going to be able to see whether or not it's advantageous to move out. Going to go ahead and re-secure that hatchery extremely quick. By the way, please check out our sponsor at underdogesports.com. You might want to put a little bit of a description about them in the thing, Titanium. But moving on to the game here, Asylum is going to be getting down that hatchery quite a bit earlier than his opponent Caffeine. It is 3/4 the way done, whereas Caffeine's just now securing it. Caffeine does have quite a bit of lings, though, a little bit of ling advantage. I don't know if that Baneling nest did go down. Yes, it did go down. Spine crawlers are probably going to want to move to the low ground or Sim City at the high ground ramp, just until that base gets secured. But we do have banelings coming out for Asylum, and that could have been very brutal. But these lanes are definitely going to be taking out this natural. Wow. And I am very surprised that Caffeine didn't make any additional defensive banelings of his own as he was trying to take that base. Especially being that he knows his opponent opened up with a banelings nest. It only makes sense that you're going to need some defensive banelings when taking a hatchery. Asylum was able to jump off on that. Could have been extremely bad news if that one baneling would have let off on those 50 Zerglings or so. But it does look like he is going to finally secure it. He does have banelings. I don't know where they're traveling to. These are some of the most courageous butt-humping banelings I've ever seen walking across the map here. Very courageous. Asylum's natural does finish, and he's going up on some serious saturation here. Asylum's now moved up to 29 drones, with one on the way. So 29 drones to the 21 of Caffeine. So Asylum definitely had the better end of the deal here, as Caffeine, without the constructing those banelings, has to now suffer an extremely late hatchery. But he is producing non-stop Zerglings. What's going